Imagine it is late at night. The rain is falling against your windows. The streets outside are completely empty, and the only sound you can hear is the wind moving through the trees. Then suddenly, someone knocks on your door. You look through the window. Two children are standing outside. They are completely soaked from the rain. They don't have an umbrella. They don't have a phone. And strangely, they don't seem to be afraid. One of them looks directly at you and says, "Can we come inside?" You hesitate. Something about them feels wrong. But then you notice their eyes. They are completely black. No white. No visible iris. Nothing. Just two dark, empty eyes staring directly at you. This is the terrifying legend of the black-eyed children. Stories about these mysterious children have circulated for decades, especially across the United States and the internet. According to people who claim to have encountered them, these children appear ordinary at first glance. They usually look between 6 and 16 years old. They may wear normal clothes. They may speak politely, and they may even behave like lost children who simply need help. But there is always something disturbing about them. Their eyes are completely black, and according to the stories, they always seem to want the same thing. They want you to let them inside. One of the most famous stories appeared in the late 1990s. A man claimed that he was sitting in his car outside a movie theater late at night. It was dark, and the parking lot was almost completely empty. Suddenly, he noticed two young boys standing nearby. They approached his car and knocked on the window. The man rolled down the window slightly. The boys told him they needed a ride. At first, nothing seemed unusual. They were young. They were calm. And they spoke politely. But then something inside the man told him not to trust them. He asked where they needed to go. The boys gave him an address. It wasn't far away. But when the man looked at them again, he noticed something strange about their faces. Their eyes appeared completely black. The man became terrified. Then one of the boys reportedly said, "You need to let us in. We can't get in your car until you do." That sentence changed everything. The man immediately drove away. According to his story, the moment he escaped, he felt an overwhelming sense of fear and panic. Was it simply his imagination? Or had he really encountered something that was not human? Nobody knows. And that is what makes the legend so disturbing. But stories like this did not stop there. Other people began reporting similar encounters. Some claimed that the children appeared outside their homes. Others said they saw them near cars, restaurants, or isolated roads. And in many of these stories, the children followed the same pattern. They were polite. They were calm. They didn't threaten anyone. Instead, they asked for permission. "Can we come inside? Can you give us a ride? Please open the door." But according to the legend, there was one important rule. Never let them in. Some witnesses claim that the children become more frightening when they are refused. Others say that they simply stand there silently, staring through the glass. And some stories describe an intense feeling of danger surrounding them. But why would these mysterious children need permission? One possible explanation comes from old supernatural folklore. Across different cultures, there are legends about supernatural beings that cannot enter a home unless they are invited. Vampire stories are one famous example. The black-eyed children legend seems to use a similar idea. The house becomes a place of safety. The door becomes a barrier. And the invitation becomes the key. But there is something even stranger. Why children? Why not adults? Perhaps because children naturally create sympathy. Imagine seeing a frightened child standing outside your house in the middle of the night. Your first instinct might be to help. You might think, they must be lost. They must be scared. They need their parents. And that is exactly what makes the legend so effective. The children don't need to force their way inside. They simply need you to open the door. But there is another disturbing detail found in many versions of these stories. Witnesses often say that they did not notice the children's black eyes immediately. At first, everything looked normal. Then something changed. Maybe the light hit their faces. Maybe they looked directly into the witness's eyes. And suddenly, their eyes were completely black. No reflection. No emotion. Just darkness. Some people believe the legend could have a psychological explanation. At night, human perception can become unreliable. Fear, exhaustion, darkness, and low lighting can make ordinary people appear strange or threatening. A frightened person might remember an encounter differently later. And once stories about black-eyed children became popular online, people may have unconsciously connected their own experiences to the legend. There is also a simpler possibility. Some encounters could have involved ordinary children behaving strangely. Maybe they were playing a prank. Maybe they wanted a ride. Maybe the witness simply misinterpreted what they saw, and the black eyes could have been a trick of the darkness. But then again, what if every explanation is wrong? What if these stories are not about ordinary children at all? Imagine this scenario. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. You hear knocking. 3 slow knocks. You look outside. 2 children are standing at the end of your driveway. They don't move. They don't speak. You close the curtains. A few seconds later, another knock. This time, it comes from the front door. You look through the peephole. The children are standing directly outside. How did they get there so quickly? You don't open the door. Then you hear a small voice. Please. A pause. We just need to come inside. You remain silent. The voice becomes slightly more desperate. Please let us in. You step away from the door, and then you hear something that makes your blood run cold. A child's voice says, "We can't come in unless you ask us." Silence. You look back through the peephole. The children are staring directly at you. Their eyes are completely black. And then, they smile. Stories like this have become part of modern horror folklore. There are no confirmed scientific records proving that black-eyed children are supernatural beings. No reliable evidence has established that these children actually exist. But legends don't always survive because they are proven. Sometimes they survive because they touch one of our deepest fears. The fear of opening the wrong door. The fear of trusting the wrong stranger. And perhaps most importantly, the fear that something terrifying could look completely innocent. So the next time you hear a knock at your door late at night, and you look outside to find 2 children standing in the darkness, remember